it mean to leave your country in military dictatorship in search of better life in Europe, only to spend the next 3 years in a terrorist detention camp in Libya. Auntie Monica lived in Lagos with her 28-year-old husband, Mr. Timothy, and her 3-year-old son. She had a store where she sold bread and milk and eggs and groundnut oil. Her husband, Mr. Timothy, was the neighborhood electrician, and together they made enough money to run the family. Auntie Monica went to a business seminar one day, and on this business seminar she was approached by a man who introduced himself as Barrister Adewale, the visa guy. Barrister Adewale told her his firm was in the visa procurement business and he could help her get a visa to Europe, as he has done for thousands of his clients. And for just 500,000 naira, he could even get her a job. She was convinced. So she paid the money to Barrister Adewale to get the visa for herself, her husband, and her 3-year-old son. And on 19th October 1995, the family started their journey to Europe. On reaching Agadez, there was no water. They were tired, and even worse, Barrister Adewale was nowhere to be found. In the traveling crew, there were 115 Nigerians, 20 Beninese, 12 Ghanaians, traveling by road from Nigeria to Europe. Now they were miles deep into the Sahara Desert, traveling by a speeding open van, and they had no drinking water. Trouble started. The travelers started to argue among themselves. Some were crying. Some who died of suffocation were thrown out of the speeding open vans into the desert. And others rained endless curses on Barrister Adewale, saying he had deceived them. This continued until they were rescued by a group of men in military uniforms who took them to a camp and gave them water. This made the travelers feel safe and relaxed, so next they were waiting for food. It was when the first man among them who had the courage to ask for food was shot. That was when they realized that the men who had rescued them were not the military, but terrorists. They had gone from frying pan to fire. Auntie Monica shook her head as she expressed to me that this was the biggest shock her husband received as an electrician. And so they started their ordeal in the terrorist camp. As they were stabbed, they were beaten, some died. Her 3-year-old son was snatched from her hands, and when her husband tried to protest this, he was tied up and he was beaten till he coughed out blood. And she watched her husband cry in despair, and she wished for death to come quick upon her. Later, Auntie Monica was separated from Mr. Timothy, her husband, and taken to a room where she was given a loaf of bread in the morning and raped multiple times within the day. Once when she got pregnant, her pregnancy was aborted by a woman in the company of the terrorists. She did this by putting a peg into the vagina of Auntie Monica and twisting it anti-clockwise till she screamed and bled profusely. This humiliation and torture continued for 3 years until the terrorist camp was discovered and attacked by the federal forces of Libya, and the terrorists left them and ran away. So they were rescued and they were taken to the hospital, where upon examination it was confirmed that Auntie Monica was 3 months pregnant. She decided to keep this pregnancy and return to Nigeria to start back again. It was upon her return to Nigeria that she learned that Barrister Adewale works with a network of traffickers who steadily transported Nigerians to Libya with the guise of giving them a better life in Europe. So I would say, whenever you see an opportunity that seems too good to be true, then it actually is. And whatever opportunity you get, you should do due diligence by confirming from relevant government agencies and getting information for your own safety and for the safety of your family. Thank you very much.